Alright, so I know why I critically want to look at these issues again. Recall we had done a video about the subsidy about 2 days ago. It's on our channel where we spoke about the mitigative measures and the errors of the government. Indeed, these things are playing out because just yesterday a meeting was held by the labor unions and the federal government, and they have already said setting up these mitigative measures, even if for us we call that like a damage control, but all the same it's being done. Now I know a lot of you will be like, I beg, they should go with their politics thing, it's not my business. I beg. Some of you are very interested in your Netflix, your home video and your skills. It's okay to have your interest, but listen, one day the government may set up a policy that may not allow you to afford to buy data to even watch the Netflix and the skits you keep watching. And this is the reason why you must get interested in what we're discussing here. Yesterday I stumbled on a video having to do with the former Minister of Finance in person of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Much credit to her, by the way. She spoke a lot about the subsidy issues. In fact, I got so emotional about it. She spoke of how her 83-year-old mother was kidnapped when they tried to stop the fraud in the subsidy. I'll be sharing that video with you so that it's going to give you an insight and an in-depth knowledge of what exactly is going on in the Nigerian petroleum sector. Second of it is, recall that the Nigerian Labour Congress has called off their strike, even if a lot of people had already predicted that they were going to call it off. But we're going to look at the grounds with which they called off the strike. Was it worth it? Should they have called off the strike? Do well to sit back as I will come back to give you analysis of these issues. My name is Moses. Alright, so like you can see in this video, she said in 2011, then she was the Minister of Finance, they actually submitted a bill of about $11 billion for 143 marketers who are importers of petroleum products, and this was a bill for fuel subsidy. So she said this was actually quite much. This is actually on the high side. So they had to do an audit on that amount. And after the audit, she said she found out that about $2.5 billion of that money was actually fraud, as in it was not part of the subsidy. Some people just wanted to make that money and rip it off the federal government. So they said no. She contacted the president then, and then they actually said no, they were not going to pay. They were going to sanitize the system and all that. So they insisted that they were not going to pay the money to the marketers. What happened? The strong and well-connected marketers did well to blame her. They said she was the cause of this, that if it was not for she who was the minister, perhaps that money would have been paid to her. So what did they do? They resorted to kidnapping her 83-year-old mother. Wow. They kept her in their custody for about 5 days, demanding. So the mother now asked them, why did you kidnap me as an old woman? You know, now normally old women, they are mostly not scared. She went ahead to open up and said, why are you keeping me here? And they said something. They said, because your daughter has refused to pay marketers their money. So they said that she should resign. Their demand for her release was that she should resign and she should go to a national television and announce that she has resigned. Wow. Very tough decision indeed. So she contacted her family members and the presidency. They insisted that she should not resign. So she made up her mind in the midst of that and said she was not going to resign. So what are we trying to say? What we're trying to say is that these cabals can go any extent to make sure that they rip the government off. Just imagine an innocent woman who is trying to make sure that she puts up policies for the betterment of our Nigerians. But these well-connected guys will go all out to ensure that they frustrate the plans. May God really help us in this country. You've seen it, right? So this issue of subsidy removal has eaten deep into our society. A lot of people have cashed out. Just imagine, people wanted to eat $2.5 billion for free. And you and I are here busy looking for small money. Well, let's jump right into the issues of the negotiation that was held with the Nigerian Labour Congress and the federal government, which brought about the suspension of the strike. Now, top on our list is the area of resolution. They had a resolution and they earmarked about 6 areas that they are going to look into. But on the interim, they said they are going to call off the strike. The first of them was the establishment of joint committee to look at the proposal and set up a framework on the issues of the minimum wage and 1 or 2 others like that. Now, that reminded me of the story I had during Obasanjo's time. It was a story though, but it made me remember that story where some people were complaining that the committees that was set up during Obasanjo's time was quite much, and at the end of the day, Obasanjo was like, okay, so what do we do about it? They said we need to trim down these committees. These committees are so much. And he said, okay, so what we'll do is we are going to set up a committee to look into these issues. I just hope that this committee they have set up is going to be very productive. I just hope that these issues will not be swept under the carpet, because in the meeting yesterday, one of the journalists asked them, so are we going back to status quo? Recall that you said that if the federal government doesn't go back to status quo in the fuel price, you are not going to call off the strike. And they spoke a lot. The second of them is the issue of review of World Bank finance transfer scheme. So having to do with the $800 and something million loan that was taken. They said they'll review it to ensure that the low income earners are also considered. The third of them is CGN conversion program. So the federal government actually has a plan of converting about 200,000 vehicles to gas, right? So they are talking about reviewing that and bringing it to the front burner again, so that Nigerians will not be completely dependent on petrol, right? And the fourth of them is review issues that are hindering the educational sector in Nigeria, that's having to do with ASO and the educational sector, which is the fifth is the rehabilitation of refineries. Recall, NNPC has come out the other day to say that one of the refineries is going to be working by the end of this year. And I began to wonder, what you want to do in 6 months? Why was it not done in 6 years? Why was it not done in 8 years? I just hope that something is going to come out of it. And the last of them is maintenance of our roads and our rail lines. We spoke about the mitigative measures regarding transportation sector. So they said they are going to look at these 6 areas. Our prayer is that these things produces a result, right? That these issues will not just be swept under the carpet and they leave the petroleum prices like that, nothing is done. This is the prayer of Nigerians. Please do well to hit the comment section. I want us to make it conversational. Hit the comment section and tell us what you think about this. Let's know what your plight is. And I trust that some other people will go there to also review the comment and learn from it. I'll be going back to the comment to also respond to most of your comments there, and let's make it conversational. But if you're new, please do also hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you can be duly informed when we put out informative content like this. Give us a like as a means of courtesy to the producers of this content. We're going to be continually here to serve you. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Moses, and bye for now.